Hi everyone, it's
Twin Soul Poets.
We are your go-to couple for love and relationship advice.
Dope spoken word poetry.
And uplifting content.
We have a new reaction video for you guys today.
React.
We haven't done a reaction in quite a while. We have this cool video from Psych2Go. We really like their videos. They got cute little animations and they have good content. So make sure you subscribe to their channel, Psych2Go.
Then subscribe to our channel, Twin Soul
also
Poets.
Hit the subscribe
for really,
button.
really amazing
That's
content.
Right below.
Today we'll be reacting to Psych2Go's video, The 5 Differences Between Crushing and Falling in Love. And we thought this was
more than a crush. Hey, love.
We thought this was a really interesting topic because we haven't really talked about it before on our channel in these terms. So we're interested to see what our thoughts are and to react.
I'm rocking my 90s R&B boy band.
It's a spectacular sweatshirt.
Sweatshirt.
I feel like we need to, hold on. Let's just step back a little bit. Let them see this.
Yeah.
Like back up more. Give them the whole view.
Oh, I thought you were looking at the view.
Oh no, we're talking about you. Look at
Let's get into it.
like this music.
Have you been crushing on someone, but wondering if it's becoming something more?
Looks like me
Emotions
journaling.
can be messy and
It
hard
does
to
look like
decipher
you.
when all we hear is our
There's
loud
me.
heartbeats or feel giant butterflies in our stomach. The upside is that as we grow older and gain more relationship experience,
That's like literally.
the answer becomes more clear. Here are 5 differences between crushing on and falling in love with someone. 1. A crush develops fast, while love grows over time. When you first develop a crush on someone, it can feel fun, flirty, and exciting. It's a lot like dancing with a flame, but it doesn't last forever. Love, on the other hand, takes time to grow. It demands patience, understanding, and hard work. When
It's
we
real.
crush on someone, it's the loud adrenaline rush that pounds on our chest. Love, however, allows us to find inner peace within ourselves. It's a lot quieter, subtle even, and can sneak up on us when we least expect it.
I agree with that. There's something that always felt really still and calm about you and I's connection.
I agree.
And it stood out to me because it was different. And I almost like, I think early on when we were dating, I almost was wondering like, why don't I feel these like intense like, you know,
Like, can't
rush
think of
of
anything
like,
else,
yeah,
like,
almost
can't-
like a sugar rush like high thing. And I did at times. There's always been a very strong reaction, but if I don't know, there was like this like
Stillness.
calmness. Yeah.
I agree. It was this, I didn't have the anxious feeling when we first met, like, oh, is he going to, ask me out? Is he going to ask for my number? Like, it was just, I just trusted. I felt very peaceful. And maybe that's part of the twin flame thing. It just felt like there was this depth of connection from the moment we met. And so, like, the crush thing, I mean, I still feel like I have a crush on you sometimes when I'll look at you and
Yeah.
I'll feel all like,
And
I'll get
I-
butterflies.
And do you think, I think that a crush can turn into love over time.
Well, what do you think about love at first sight, though?
To me, love is like an action verb. It's like the things that you literally do to take care of.
I also
each
think
other.
like being in a state of love has a lot to do with it. If you think about like the people who meditate, like yogis who've reached this state of being in
Yes.
love, it's like they would say they're in love with everything and everyone, and
Yes.
it's unconditional. So it's like I think it has a lot to do with how you show up too. I think love at first sight could be a real thing, but there's no way that you can have the kind of love that time and experience gives you. Like she said, when you're young, you have this certain sense of things, and it becomes this evolution. Like love isn't stagnant. I think it's always unfolding and growing. Like I learn what love is with you more and more every day.
Here's a good question.
Okay.
What was the first moment where you felt like, oh man, I think I love him?
It was pretty early on. I mean, I think when you said it to me, because he was the
But,
first
like,
person to say it, that I agreed. I don't know if it was any one moment, but I do know the moment that I really thought I could spend the rest of my life with you. I remember being in Thailand and standing in this beautiful temple, and there was this like stained glass window of this woman holding a baby. And I think I had pointed it out to you, but like I think you felt me like sensing that could be a life for us. Like I was seeing something in the future because you said something to me, but like that was the moment I was like, I could spend my life with this man. Like it just hit me so fully.
I remember early on, before I went to Thailand, and we had been out on, I think we had gone out to a park, some kind of park like this, and you were getting out of my car. I was holding the car door open, and you were standing outside the car, and like the sun was like hitting like just behind your head, and it was like this freeze frame in time where something about the moment just felt so like beautiful to me, and it just hit me. And I just remember closing the car door and driving away and be like, shit, I'm in love.
2. A crush forms from the basics, while love thrives from deep connections. Have you ever liked someone because they share the same interests as you? A crush forms from basic information like that. Maybe the two of you have the same favorite color, or you can quote an entire movie together from beginning to end. But that's not necessarily love. Love isn't afraid to dive in the deep. It asks us to be vulnerable and go past the small talk, hobbies, and picture-perfect Kodak moments. It's sharing secrets, and sometimes it means confronting the past and mending together.
A lot of the things that like friendship is built on can make you have a crush on someone, of like, oh wow, they're really into poetry too. Like, you know, like right when I saw your notebook, I felt like I was crushing on you, because I was like, man, okay, she seems cool. That's intriguing, you know. I think what this is pointing out is that people that you just have a lot of similar interests with, you might be able to spend time with and have a really enjoyable time, but you might not be able to like fall in love with that person. You might not be able to live with them. You might not, you know.
Or they're saying that like can be the first doorway into falling in love. Like usually, you know, I mean, we dove pretty deep on our first meetings just because that's the kind of people we are. But like, I think, you know, sharing interest in things can be the way to build trust. When you feel comfortable around someone, then it's like, okay, I feel like I can open up to this person about this other thing that's maybe a little more, you know, deep and a little more personal. So it's like, I don't think they exclude each other. I think they can both feed in and lead into the doorway of like what love is.
3. A crush might feel insecure while love stems from trust. Crushing on someone can leave you feeling insecure when you compare yourself to others. But love is built on the foundation of trust. When you love someone, you feel at ease with them. You are neither possessive nor jealous. Love teaches us to let go of our fears, whereas crushing on someone allows them to linger.
I think that's a big one. I think that that is part of like a personal growth process too. I think to learn how to allow yourself to be comfortable being yourself around others, even people that you're attracted to. And I think that
I agree,
allows love to come in and makes it more likely, you know, because you get to share your real authentic self. And sometimes the jittery butterflies feelings of attraction and crushing can make you nervous and make you scared to be vulnerable or be real.
But I think it's a great point you made about it's more of a internal job that like is really about establishing confidence and trust within, regardless of the relationship, regardless if it's a crush or love. Because even in love, you're going to have times that test your trust, that test your inner self. Like that's, I don't know that just stops when you fall in love, that all of a sudden it's just miraculously you're always going to be trusting, you're always going to have this grounded feeling in yourself. Like that's, I don't know that it's a magic pill. I think it's just like continually committing to learn more about yourself. Like love invites you to grow. Love invites you to learn more about who you are, who you want to become, what you want to let go of. It's like this opportunity, but it's not just granted to you when you fall in love. I don't think I think that that's the gift of love, is that you get this like continual like opportunity to grow, especially with twin flames. And it's not always going to be easy. And sometimes it's going to be scary, and sometimes you're going to be uncertain, and sometimes you're going to want to give up, and sometimes you want to keep going. And like, if you talk to people who've been in love for a long time, you know, even longer than us, they will tell you that it has been a journey.
The insecurities can really fade away when you value yourself. You really value who you really are, and know that that's worth sharing with someone. And that's, you know, that's when it can really amplify, and like the benefits that you can get out of a relationship become just exponentially greater. But that starts with self-love. It really doesn't. That's not cliche to say, because, you know, you have to love yourself to know that that real you is worth sharing. Sharing yourself is going to give a powerful experience of growth and learning and stuff to someone else. And when you share that intimacy, like that could be a major like life-changing experience for someone else that you open up to.
Just showing up authentically.
Yeah, just being your real self, and like that's the gift that love offers. And for what it's worth, I definitely always felt very comfortable being myself around you.
Same. It's great.
4. A crush feels new while love feels familiar. When you crush on someone, it often feels fresh and young. But as you get to know someone better, love forms, making you enter rooms that feel familiar. It's like being with your best friend, someone who knows you inside and out, perhaps better than you may know yourself. When you're crushing on someone, you're too shy to even make it past the welcome mat.
Well, okay, I just want to say, I don't think anyone ever knows you better than you know yourself. I never like vibed with that. I feel like you may be in denial of a part of yourself, but you have all the answers inside of you. There's nothing that's not accessible within you. It just has to be a willingness to look at that and to spend time with that. But I think that can create issues where someone else outside of you is going to say, I know you better than you. That doesn't feel good to me.
Well, I definitely think it's true that love and deep, intimate love really reveals parts of yourself that you might not have like consciously been aware of. And that is a process, like your partner might recognize something in you before you really see it yourself, or the dynamic itself might help you to see it. Whereas, if you were continuing to live by yourself, you might not.
I think that can be true, but I think also it can become a dynamic, I think, in a relationship where someone's like, I know you better than you know yourself. And it can be kind of a control like device. And I think it's just important that like, if you're just to know that you can always, it has to be a choice though, to take that internal journey, and you might have to look at things you don't want to see. But I don't know, for me, I just want to point that out because I think it's important that like not to need someone else to see the truth of yourself. I think it's beautiful when it inspires it, and if you guys can be, if you can be open between each other and pointing something out, it can be a healthy thing. But just know that if you're single, you don't need someone else to awaken you to a part of yourself you didn't know.
Ultimately, they're all just a mirror. Every relationship, friendship, family member, whatever, they're all just mirrors reflecting something about ourselves back to us.
Right.
So that is helpful to have those mirrors sometimes. What you're saying is true. We all have the capability of finding everything about ourselves within. But I also think we all have egos, and we all have a great ability to delude ourselves as well and deceive ourselves. And we all do it, and there's certain things we just don't want to look at. And sometimes it is very helpful to have another person, especially someone who knows you really well, to help you to see something.
Usually if there's something about the other person that's really bothering you or frustrating for you, it's kind of like a little like key that's probably something you need to work on within.
5. A crush is reckless while love is mature. Ever had a crush on someone that made you scratch your head years later? Crushes can be confusing, reckless, and inconsistent. Love isn't so easily discarded though. When love begins, so does maturity. You learn how to be vulnerable, how to compromise, and how to grow with someone. It's more than just a feeling, but a life-changing experience.
I don't think a crush has to be reckless. I think it can feel like a lot. There's a lot of like hormones and like, things flowing through you at the time when you have a crush. So I think it can feel kind of overwhelming in a sense. But I do think like it depends on the person and the way you're showing up. It's like it can be possible to have a crush on someone or be really into someone without being reckless about it. So I don't know if I completely agree with it, but I definitely agree that like love is like a more mature exploration. It's just mature because of time. Usually crushes turn into love. Because as we said in the last one, like as you get to know someone, as you get more familiar, then that's a natural progression.
I feel like a crush is like all the hormones and chemical rush of attraction, and love without the like solid ground of like mature like love for yourself and being able to be yourself around someone. I can relate to the feelings of recklessness and being like head over heels for someone, and that felt like out of control, and like, but I always had those experiences like before I ever really experienced real love. And then that changed me, I think, and it was a life-changing experience because that's what made me realize when somebody else really loved me and I knew it. I knew that, like, wow, there's these parts of me that I hadn't really like shared with anyone before. Somebody loves that. Somebody like gets a lot out of that. Somebody really likes being around that. And that was changing for me because it was like, oh, I can just really be myself. I don't have to like hide those parts of me. I don't have to not be vulnerable.
I think it has a lot to do with age too. I think a crush when you're, 15 and a crush when you're 30, are totally different experiences. Like, the newness of it when you have your first crushes is really exciting. You're like, what the hell? Like, I can't focus on my homework or anything. That's a whole different thing. And when you've been there a few times and, you have that first attraction, it's still exciting, but I think you know how to navigate a little better.
Yeah.
And you kind of understand it for what it is. And you also have more of the maturity to know that just because you have a crush on someone doesn't mean it's a good match, or doesn't mean that it's going to amount to anything. Sometimes you just enjoy it for what it is.
The basic difference here is like the sense of love giving this solid ground of like calm and like inner peace, really, and a crush feeling maybe being very energized and very like exciting, but not the same sense of peace around it. Like there's almost like a nervousness to that energy.
And love can be energizing too, but I think in a different way. It's like it's more of a sustained energy. Like crush is like you're energized and then you're exhausted afterwards. Kind of like there's a crash.
It's like depleting.
But like
almost.
Love is like it just has this kind of more of an even keel to it. Like it's like this energy that like is always kind of bubbling under the surface and always growing really beautifully, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think you're crushing or falling in love with someone? Please share your thoughts with us below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more helpful tips and share this video with others. With your help, we can reach more people and provide our support.
Cool. Thanks for watching with us today. Make sure, again, check out Psych2Go's channel. Also, like and subscribe to our channel. And if you think you're crushing or falling in love with someone, hit the link below and get a private love coaching session with us. We'll walk you through these steps and maybe help you take that transition from a crush to real love and something that can be really valuable.
See y'all in the next video.
Bye.